Dr. AME Garong is a distinguished researcher at the Archaeology Division of the National Museum of the Philippines. She published a book called Ancient Filipino Diet. Based on her doctoral dissertation, her work has significantly contributed to our understanding of ancient Filipino culture and dietary practices. Let's all welcome Dr. AME Garong.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me here. So what do we have here?
We are going to interview you with a twist. Since you studied about our ancestors' diet,
Yes.
we prepared foods that are included in the ancient Filipino diet. So basically, we are going to ask you questions and do mukbang at the same time.
Okay, that sounds fun. Let's start then.
What part of the Philippines are you from?
Well, originally I am from Gapan, Nueva Ecija.
And you work at the National Museum of the Philippines for 21 years, right?
Along the way, I had a classmate who told me that the National Museum is in need of a zoologist. Since I had a zoology background, I already had a year of anthropology courses, I decided to apply. However, at first I failed because they only needed one and they hired someone who had more experience. So again, it's another frustration. However, maybe I was destined to be an archaeologist. A month after, they called back and they told me there's another position, they need a researcher. So I immediately did not think twice. I said, yes, I am available.
Despite being a subject that deals with a lot of ancient stuff, archaeology in itself is a relatively new field in the Philippines.
It's like 20 years in the Philippines that we've had this. So maybe not everybody knows that we're offering that course.
What are some of your early experiences with fieldworks looks like?
What I first saw was potteries, the remains of utensils, and then we got to work on a burial site in the province of Negros where we were excavating this plaza. Of course, it's my first time. An accident happened. There was this pebble on the ground and then there was a movement from the surface. Pebble fell on the skull of the individual and it caused the skull to be broken. My senior was shocked and I was scolded.
If that happened to me, I will cry on the spot. So in 2013, you published a groundbreaking book titled Ancient Filipino Diet. How were you able to find out what our ancestors ate?
Since I am doing archaeology, it's far beyond the history. So I'm focusing on diet. We use the paleo diet analysis. One of the best way to know the paleo diet of our ancestors is by using stable isotope analysis.
But what exactly is stable isotope analysis? That's pretty technical.
I also explain it in my book that stuffs that organic, think of flesh, blood, and anything that goes into a green bin. The ratio of nitrogen and carbon isotopes in that organic matter tends to be stable enough so that thousands of years later we can apply modern technology and techniques, find out where the protein in the properly preserved sample of bones usually come from. That's the best way if you wanted absolute information about diet.
So what exactly were some of those food that ancient Filipinos ate?
Food sources in the Philippines, especially plants, haven't differed from then and now. Plants collected from my study served as staple food in prehistoric time. What it means is that it includes varieties of sugarcane. We have sugarcane here. The way you eat it is, you know how to eat sugarcane?
No.
You're supposed to chew this para mabas yung katas niya.
Okay.
Pag naubos mo na yung katas na ito, you just spit it out and you're good. We also have rice. Ancient Filipinos know how to grow these crops. If you momentarily blank on what the Banawi rice terraces are, that's pretty close to one of the sites we worked in.
Let's go on a trip to the Philippines. Can you tell us what you discovered?
One of them is Batanes. Both the UP Anthropology and National Museum have excavated in that area. So that means I can get more than 5 individuals. I also went to Batanes to get samples of their staple food. I can also use that to gauge the value that I can get from my analysis. I went to this fishing village. They have this fish that they've said they've used as a staple food for a long time. I interviewed elders to ask what they remember as their old food. So this particular fish from Batanes is called arayu.
How about in Benguet province?
They have this ritual that will last for a year. It's removing the muscles, the fat of the individual like tinapa. And tinapa is a Tagalog term for smoked fish. Traditionally, it's made with scad or milkfish. Salted or brined, hung out to dry, and then smoked.
How about in Manila?
If we go to Manila, we have this site called Santa Ana. It's close to Pasig River. Actually, based on my studies, we have utilized Pasig River for their food.
In Cebu?
If we go to Visayas area, we have Bolhoon. They cannot grow rice. That's why they love mais, corn. That's the same thing. And millet. According to the research I have conducted, I've uncovered that despite being so close to water, the human bones found were not composed of sea creatures, but instead largely of plants that are called C4 plants. Corn is an example of C4 plant, also rice. So yes, in order to understand the diet of the past human population in the Philippines, we analyzed stable isotopic compositions of 61 individuals from 5 boreal sites with different geographical location, environmental condition, and resistance strategies. The carbon-stable isotope ratio and the nitrogen-stable isotope ratio of bone collagen and hair were used to estimate protein resource of the population.
Your primary area of expertise lies in prehistoric Filipino food, and you are deeply committed to understanding what ancient Filipinos consumed before any foreign influences reached the Philippines. The book you authored represents the first comprehensive study of Filipino food during prehistory, providing insight into indigenous culinary practices. Importantly, your research covers the period prior to any foreign influence, allowing us to glimpse the authentic Filipino diet and emphasizes the significance of understanding local food sources. Your work goes beyond the recipes and flavors. You contribute preserving and celebrating culinary heritage of the Philippines. Your insights as well enrich our knowledge of ancient Filipino life, culture, and sustenance. By studying these remains, you unveiled the food choices, preferences, and local resources that sustained our ancestors. So, Dr. AME GARONG, what's next?
Actually, Mr. G, it's my dream to continue the isotopic analysis and to reveal more of the resources. In addition to building a
Body of research on ancient Filipinos and how they lived.
stable isotopic analysis, it can also reveal environmental situations or conditions. In other words, it gives us information about what the country, climate, and geography looks like. Combined with modern day research, this helps us scientists better understand how to tackle the big questions that we face today, like how the climate change affects farming, fishing, and everyday life in the Philippines. Hopefully, I can still continue doing this in the future. There are still other sites that can be explored with this research. At the moment, I'm still working with other boreal sites in Negros, still working. There's still a lot to study about the practice of burying our loved one and the analysis that can be done, like ancient DNA, and that's one of my dreams. Upon acting as Dr. AME GARONG in this impersonation, I admire how she, as an archaeologist and researcher, does her work very well. Given that this is something that she originally did not plan to do as a job, she still succeeded in her profession, contributing to the field of science and technology here in the Philippines with her research and publication. My takeaway to this is to never let your frustration stop you from embracing new things and be someone who's willing to learn and take full responsibility, and also to continue doing something knowing that it can be something relevant to others or malay mo to the whole country.
Oh no, I will cry on the spot if that's happened to me. Damn! Nak, pwede ba Tagalog na lang? How were you able to find out our ancestors ate? Ancestors ate? How were you able to find out
Kaya ko
our
pa ba?
ancestors